So is Jill here somewhere? Jill, okay. Well, most of you know her. This goes without a big introduction because I found your videos nationwide. I mean, you're everywhere now, and so you know we're all appalled at what happened with her sons at Walmart. If I'd have been there and it had been my kids, it might have been a different story. But I think they handled it very well, and I'm proud of the way they did that. But let's welcome Jill Dickerson.
Thank you. So, great introduction. So first, I just want to say thank you to this community. You guys have been amazing. The support, the concern for my family. I've gotten emails and messages from not only our community, but communities around the nation, and even outside of our nation, Europe, Canada, Asia. It's just been nothing short of amazing, so thank you. Thank you. And just to recap, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have probably seen the video. But I'll just give a brief synopsis of what happened Saturday evening for those of you that haven't seen it. So my three sons decided to have a couple friends over, and like teenagers do, they wanted to get out of the house. So they walked to the local Walmart, unattended, unfortunately. My husband and I didn't go with them. They went in, got some snacks, and started heading towards the registers when they were accosted and apprehended by a couple probably in their mid to late 50s. The woman started calling them little jerks. Where's your mask? Just completely mask shaming and humiliating them in front of God and all of Walmart. The husband came up alongside and he started into name calling laced with all kinds of lovely profanities, eventually got in their faces and got physically assaulted my son. Okay, sorry. Now, I'm a mama bear. I don't know about any of you that have kids, but you don't mess with my kids. That's where I'm gonna get angry and I'm gonna get pretty belligerent back. So he came home with the video footage. Thankfully, he thought to document, and he started rolling the video camera on his phone. And this mama bear took it to the internet, like any good mom would do. I'm like, I'm gonna find these people, and you know, there's gonna be a mama bear to reckon with, because this isn't gonna happen to my kids without repercussion. So long story short, the video has gone viral. I had it posted on my personal page. Last time I had checked, it had over 93,000 views. Over 2,500 shares, and then unfortunately I had to take it down because the couple in the video, they were getting death threats, and that isn't my goal here. My goal is to make an example of them so this doesn't happen again, but I don't want death threats, so I went ahead and removed it. But you know what, it didn't matter because it was already out there. We made it all around the globe. So I'm not a public speaker by nature, so I'm going to open my notes now. So I want to just talk a little bit about the fear of COVID-19 and the whole masking mandate and the division that it's caused in our community. The mainstream media, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but they're really great at keeping the mass population in fear, the bondage of fear. They do everything by reporting fake death tolls, fake reports on hospital ICU units overflowing with patients, and of course the hot topic of masking. That's just to name a few. As if life wasn't hard enough and we didn't have enough on our plates, this issue of masking and going anywhere without anxiety hampers our society now. It's almost like people are wearing them as a security blanket. Myself, like many of you, have done a lot of research on masks. The science behind it doesn't really make a lot of sense. The masks do relatively nothing for us as healthy human beings. The mask mandate in our community and abroad is wreaking havoc on our society. You're right, it is all lies. It's getting personal too, not only with fellow Americans that are supposed to unite, but it's getting personal between friends. It's dividing family members. I personally tasted some of this myself. It's truly deplorable what's going on, the devastating effects of it all. And what I see is the mass population succumbing to government overreach. It's out of control, and we've got to stop it. And let's talk about safety for a minute. You got to ask yourself, is this really about safety or is it about compliance? Well, my first thought is it's about compliance. They're seeing how we're going to comply with the smaller issues. So then when the bigger issues are on the table, are we going to be a good little puppet and take it? Or are we going to stand up and say enough's enough, we're not doing this? And last time I checked, we live in a free country where our health is our business. There's rules set in place for our health. Freedoms and liberties are ours to be had, and these mandates have to cease, and they have to cease now. And now more than ever, I am really seeing the need and the importance of community. This right here is beautiful. We've gathered for our rights. We're saying we will stand and we won't take this. The tyranny that is going on is going to just continue to impede upon other rights and liberties. Where does it end? Where does it stop? And I'm sure most of you have friends or family that said, hey, this is the loving thing to do. Love your neighbor. Wear your mask.
Lies.
Well, let me tell you something. I think loving our neighbor means standing up for our freedoms. That's the best thing we can do, love our neighbor. So I'm just going to give a few examples of men and women in history, and what I know is the Bible, and I'm going to use some biblical examples of men and women who have fought when things weren't right, and they sought out freedom. So, first of all, God, give us the boldness, the faith and wisdom of David. He faced Goliath, and guess what? He had victory. God, give us the boldness, the faith and the wisdom of the 3 Hebrew boys. They didn't bow, and they were delivered from the fire. And God, please give us the boldness, the faith, and the wisdom of Esther. She approached the king uninvited, and she saved her people for such a time as this. God, give us the boldness and the faith and the wisdom of Joshua when he marched around Jericho, and guess what? He saw those walls crumble and fall. Yes. So, God, give us as a people of this community the wisdom, the boldness, and the faith to come together and see the walls of this wobbly mandate crumble and fall. And I want to end by saying this. When I was writing notes for this tonight, I really felt like God told me, hey, just open your Bible, and what it lands on, I want you to look down and read it. And I couldn't believe what I opened to. I opened to 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 14, when God appeared before Solomon. And so the ultimate wisdom and the ultimate takeaway here that I want everybody to hear tonight is out of 2 Chronicles 7:14 that says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. Let's work. So let's work and pray together to see this mask mandate fall on its face for good.